Up until this point, we've only made videos that cover or give information, knowledge about health. But there are two sides to health. One of them is, of course, knowledge and information and so on. The other side is doing things that lead to health advancement. You could watch all my videos and do nothing about it. That wouldn't improve your health, yet you have a bunch of knowledge that you didn't have before. So you need a will to improve your health. You need a reason to improve your health. And since you're a human, health will apply to you. Now, unfortunately, all the people on the planet seem to have forgotten that they are humans and that their vessels rapidly degrade if they don't deprive themselves of the luxuries they, um, let's say, consume every day. And if you're such an individual that doesn't deprive yourself of these so-called luxuries that are killing you very slowly, uh, this might change your opinion. And if you're a very healthy person, um, then you'll encounter people in your family, in your life, that might not have the same philosophy as you, and then you could maybe use some of the knowledge I'll share here to convince them of, well, changing their habits. And you can also say that many of the things I'll cover are reasons as to why I don't do things, or I will never do anything that harms me health wise. Even if it's something that is accepted by society, like alcohol, even if it's a small glass of wine, I wouldn't drink it because that thing contains ethanol, and if you haven't looked at my liver video, you really should. Oh well, so let's start with the first point. The most valuable thing. Now, focus on the existence of your hand, or your arm, or your leg. Something you can feel, that a human could lose and, live without, but it wouldn't be, your quality of life wouldn't be as good, so to speak. So focus on your arm, and now imagine that your arm, your right arm, or your left arm, depends on what you were thinking on in the beginning. Imagine that it didn't exist, and you couldn't move it, and you only had the other arm and your two legs, and the rest of your body. Now, how would that feel? How are you feeling? Not good, right? See, that's how valuable the human body is to you. That's how valuable your vessel is. To everyone, probably. So, you're made of cells, right? And if losing an arm or losing a part of yourself because it gets damaged and you need to remove it sounds horrible, then why would you even want to harm yourselves in the first place? You see, even if you were to eat or drink or do or smoke once a year, that would still hurt you. And why? I mean, I could use this analogy, and it's a bit extreme, but oh well, let's use it. You see, let's say we have a killer, and this killer says that all his friends kill a person, two, two persons every week. And this person only kills once a year. Now, is it okay because he kills once a year? Is it okay to kill? No, it's not. So why is it okay to eat a cake once a year even if it hurts you? I just don't understand that behavior. Even if a cake tastes good, you're still hurting yourself. So that's just something to think about. And then, when it comes to depriving yourself of the luxuries of life, as people like to call it, that aren't very extremist when it comes to health. I am, but I don't really see it as extremism. I only see it as not hurting myself. What do they remember? What do you remember? What are your happiest moments? If you pause the video and think about that, and maybe you're back now, you even haven't paused the video, you'll realize that it was not related to food. Never was. It was probably related to goals or other people in your life. Maybe it was doing something hard. Maybe it was, who knows what it was, but it probably wasn't related to food or some static pleasure, you could say. It was not eating a cake, even though eating a cake is nice. So then you know that the things that matter to you aren't the small pleasures of life. Those aren't the things that make you happy. Why? Because happiness can only come from the inside. If you need outside things, so cake or your phone, to be happy, then you're not happy. Because once that thing is gone, you're completely effed, so to speak. So that's also something to think about. Now, what do you consider yourself to be? See, you as a human, you probably consider yourself irrational, right? You probably consider yourself, you probably see willpower in yourself. You probably think highly of yourself, even. Most of you watching this video. There are exceptions, of course. There are people who have bad self-esteem, but most people are pretty proud, even if we don't want to admit it. Now, when it comes to this group of people, and you might be one of those people, who knows? Maybe not, because you're watching a channel called Excellent Health. Do you consider yourself a person that can't control what they put in their mouth? Just think about that. Are you really a person that can't consider what they put in their mouth? Or can't control themselves in general? Are you addicted to things? And why can't you get out of your addiction? Is it because society has accepted that there are many people who are addicted to things and therefore it is okay because a large amount of people do it? So you're convinced that what you're doing is normal? I mean, imagine if you were the only one who thought it was alright to smoke or go to McDonald's. Would you really be going to McDonald's or smoking if you were the only one doing it? No, you wouldn't. Because then everyone would have, well, the same thought as I do, or many health conscious people do, that it's poisonous to indulge in such activities. So if you consider yourself, or if you want to maintain the image of a strong individual, then you should really tend to your addictions, one could say. Now the fourth thing is, do you really want to contribute to humanity's sadness, as I like to call it? Looking at the world in a general sense, there are many bad things over here. And even if you look at Western society, let's say we have, well, even Scandinavia, let's take one of the best examples in the world, Scandinavia. We have or the countries in Scandinavia are great, right? We have high standards of living, our health index is nice, so on. But, or yet, people are still hurting themselves. People are smoking, people are taking drugs. People are killing themselves. Do you really want to be a part of that? A part of humanity that slowly kills itself because it's addicted to things? You probably don't. When you take the step to become healthier, and happier in the process, you'll collectively be contributing to humanity's happiness, even if you're just one individual. That's how it works. You'll make this world a better place because you're a part of it, and if a part of it becomes better, then the whole world becomes better. So you are important. And the last point is it's not about living longer. I've seen, or I've encountered, or when I encounter people that I talk to when it comes to health, because they get curious and they say, why the hell do you have, or why do you uphold so many weird habits from a health perspective? How can you live like that? Why do you want to live to be 150 years old? I tell them that it's not about living longer, it's about maximizing the time that you're alive. I mean, do you really want your life to come at a point where you can't run anymore, or where you can't jump anymore, or where you don't have enough energy to do the things you love to do? When it came to hunter-gatherers, for example, I mean, they were pretty active in their later years, and then they just died in their sleep, peacefully. But even in their last moments, they could do a lot. And if you don't want the hunter-gatherer example, if you want something that is a bit more perceivable, I mean, there are many Chinese gymnasts that are 80 years old. There are videos on YouTube on this. They do insane tricks, very physically demanding tricks that no person in their, or very few people in their 20s can do. And they're 80 years old or more. So age doesn't really matter. I mean, if you look at age, let's just say this, just so you get this thought inside of your head. What is age? It's 1 point of age, so to speak. 1 year is when the Earth rotates around the sun once. What does that have to do with your cells? Nothing. It has nothing to do with your cells at all. The thing is, if the Earth is rotating around the sun and you're not taking care of your cells, you'll be looking a bit differently each time the Earth reaches the same destination. That's just how time works in relation to your cells, but it has nothing to do with the actual health of your cells or your age. And with that said, hopefully your perspective has changed if you're a person who still wants to maintain the luxuries of life by killing yourself slowly. Over and out for now.